Greetings from the House of Representatives. This is your state representative, Kerry Condotta, with a weekly update. Well, things are moving fast and furious here at the Capitol. Awful lot of volume for a short session on bills, and some of the most controversial ones we've seen in years. Of course, the big news this week is the gay marriage bill was heard, and it appears now that the Senate has locked in the 25th vote to move that bill forward. The House had the votes all along. The Senate was questionable, but one of the senators had switched to vote, and looks like that will be moving sometime in the next week or two. You never know, but it looks to me like that one's moving on. Another very controversial bill is the bill that would require insurance companies to provide money for abortions. This is another mandate on insurance policies, so that any health insurance policy you bought in the state of Washington would have to have that provision that it would provide for abortions. This one is even more controversial possibly than the gay marriage, if that's possible. But those two big hitter bills were up this week. An awful lot of people here, thousands of people to testify on one side or the other, and both of those will be decided over the next few weeks. In the state government, there was a bill to kind of mess with initiatives. You know, there's a lot of folks down here that don't appreciate the initiative process. Every year they try to introduce a bill to trip it up, and this one was kind of interesting. It said if the initiative requires any kind of payments or any kind of revenue, that it would have to be attached. There'd have to be a revenue or tax bill attached to it. It would have to be a constitutional amendment. I just don't think that's going anywhere. The testimony was quite negative. Most people feel the initiative process is probably working just fine. It only seems to rear its head when the legislature doesn't do its job. They had years and years and years to reduce the tabs on license plates, and they didn't, and so then along came $30 tabs, and that's what happens with the initiative process. So we are thinking that bill is not going anywhere. One of the most interesting bills of the week, and it's a different subject matter, you've probably seen in certain places these rolling machines for cigarettes. Basically, you go into a tobacco store and you buy bulk tobacco, you rent a machine, and you make your own cigarettes. Now, the interesting thing about that is it's totally legal, and it bypasses a lot of taxes on manufactured cigarettes that are in cartons. So you can actually put a carton of cigarettes together for about $32 to $38 versus about $80 on the retail market. Now, this is a nationwide business, and there's 65 of those units already up and running in Washington State. I would say that's really interesting entrepreneurship. Somebody found a way around the very, very high tobacco taxes. And by the way, when you buy a pack of cigarettes, you pay more in taxes than the value of the cigarettes. As the Chairman Kirby says, you buy a pack of taxes and get a few cigarettes. So it's very controversial, but very interesting that somebody found a way around. That's the kind of things we see here. A lot of interesting subject matter and a lot more to go. On the budget, nothing right now. It's all the other bills, and we're really looking forward to digging into that budget or seeing what's going to happen next week. That should start to roll up and start to happen. So we'll be back next week to tell you what's happening with the budget and all these other fabulous bills. Thanks for listening. See you next week.